So the IB program is excellent in terms of allowing them to have a really wide range of choices because of the range of subjects that they take. So having those 3 higher levels where they go into more depth, but also having the standard levels where they're actually broadening out their program. They're not just focusing on those higher level subjects. The other aspect of the IB program that really also expands their choices is theory of knowledge and the extended essay. So in both of those programs, they're really looking at critical thinking, developing research skills, and that actually opens up pathways so that students don't necessarily feel that they need to go off and study something that they've studied at school. They've become really aware of the fact that they may want to go and study a subject at university that they've never even considered or even had access to maybe at school. But because of the broad range of subjects they study in the IB, all 6 subjects plus the TOK and EE, they actually have all the skills they need to be able to go off and start any program right from the very beginning. At VSA, we actually start talking to students from a university counselling and careers perspective in Year 6. In Years 6 to 9, we look at actually how students are looking at approaches to learning skills. So, that's where we start. And so you'll commonly hear them called ATL skills, and teachers will refer to them in their subjects on a regular basis. So students become very familiar with those. What we do in Year 6, 7 and 8 is we particularly take those ATL skills and we start looking at them in terms of how transferable they are from one subject to another, and then thinking about how transferable they are within the world of work, which is a way of actually opening up and letting students not just discover the world of work, but also discover how they already know some things about their own strengths that they can think about in terms of the world of work. What we do in Year 9 is we actually then start with a much more focus on thinking about how they can actually pull the knowledge that they're gaining about themselves together, and then we look at what does that knowledge mean. So what are their strengths, what are their interests, what are the subjects they really enjoy, what are the subjects they find challenging, what are the service and action projects that they've undertaken that they're thinking they really enjoyed, what are they planning in their summers, how are they developing as a person. And all of that information, they're really starting to come to know themselves as an individual and as somebody who is just in a process of development. So we look forward from Year 9 to think about, what do you want to develop next? And then coming into Year 10, we start more having one-on-one meetings where we're actually meeting with students. We're talking to them about what they're doing, how they're challenging themselves, and we start talking about pathways forward. And so one of those pathways is also talking about diploma choice and which subject they want to do, how they want to build their DP program to really kind of help them develop some of those strengths. It's also a really exciting time for students in Year 10, because one of the things that they start doing is they're also really being introduced to the universities and the programs that are out there, and we really encourage them to get engaged with all that universities actually offer. And then as we build further in Year 10, we invite them into some of our specialist programs, so our students who are interested in taking 2 sciences in their DP program, for example, and are really interested in, say, medicine or veterinary science, they would join our MedSoc group and actually start participating with Year 11 students and talking about issues that could be as varied as, how do you get some work experience to medical ethics, for example. So what we do from Year 10 onwards is a series of flex sessions. So flex is one of our lessons that we run during the school day, and we run it 4 days a week. And university counselling has a number of those flex sessions. So we would have flex sessions, but we'd also have a lot of one-on-one meetings. And that can include meetings with parents, but we also have a lot of one-on-one meetings with students. And that continues through 10, 11 and 12. And then as we move into Year 11, we become much more focused on how are they doing in their DP program, how are they thinking about what they are really enjoying. It doesn't meet their expectations. What are they really discovering that they can do now that they couldn't do before? How have they really started, pushing that development? And then we talk about what happens next. What are they starting to be interested in when they go off to university? And so that's really exciting time for students, can also be really challenging time, and so the University Counselling Office supports students through that. And then as they get into year 12, at the end of year 11, we do a lot of pre-work before their applications, and then they get into year 12, and a lot of year 12 is about supporting them through those application pathways. Universities really respect the IB program. Any student who has been through IB studies has been through a very rigorous and challenging program, one that is actually going to stand the student in good stead, not just for going into university and for their first degree, but it also actually lets students discover through the breadth of the program how good they can be in a number of different subjects, but also it brings alongside it a number of skills that they really get tested on that are absolutely integral to success, not just at university, but generally in life. And so these skills that I'm talking about are things like communication skills, and we're not just talking about actually being able to write well, which is an essential skill, but it's also being able to speak well and to be able to actually put forth cogent, coherent arguments for people. Time management, project management, those skills are really ones that are tested in the IB. Students actually learn to juggle and prioritise a number of different activities, a number of different requirements on them. They may have more than one assignment that is due at any one time. They may have tests to study for, and they may still have their CAS requirements to meet. And all of these, having to be able to prioritise, to work out how you're going to allot time, how you're going to actually understand how long a task actually takes to complete. These are essential skills. To be able to start university with those skills already in hand is actually a massive bonus. And then the other thing, of course, is that universities also really, really value the depth of the studies that the students put in, and at higher level particularly. And so you're going to find that our students, because they've taken the IB program, they've taken a highly recognised, highly regarded program that students really are set apart at university for their ability to manage their courses and for their ability to fully engage as being very ready for university level studies.